Oh, no, we just shot right over. I forgot to put the transition screen in and everything. We're fucking here now.
Hey.
What the fuck? Okay, hold up. What's up? Hello, everybody. Sorry. I unplugged a bunch of shit from my computer earlier today and it fucked everything up. But apparently we are back and good to rip now. Welcome to Wired and Wednesday. We have a very old friend of mine on here. I'm excited to have this conversation with you because so much has changed for you within the past. You know, I should probably put the mic in front of my face. Within the past couple months, and it's not only is it interesting, but it's incredibly inspiring. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you. So everybody, welcome Mike Campbell from Stophouse to Wired and Wednesday. Also, for those of you who are new here, because it does seem like we got some hot new people in here, we are giving away a pair of Astro A10 headphones every single... Oh, did he freeze? Oh, is he frozen? Is he frozen? Either that or maybe we need to plug him in, unplug him, and plug him back in. Here, let's try this shit. We're going to go yeet, and we're going to go yeet. Uh-oh. We lost him. See where it's spinning right here? That's my guy. That's my guy. Well, while we work on these technical difficulties, I know, man, what the fucking we are giving away a pair of Astro A10 headset to a lucky sub. Oh,
Hey. Am I back?
You're back,
Can you
but
hear
we
me?
don't have your picture.
Hey, sorry about that.
There
I think
it
I
is.
legged out when you logged in for some reason.
Shit happens. So yeah, we're giving away a pair of headphones. Make sure you just go ahead and sub to the channel and hit !raffle, and then bitch, you go get some goddamn headphones. Yeah, look at this guy representing right now too. Shit.
Hey, shout out to Dope. Much love. Shout out
Damn.
Astro.
Yes. So yeah, welcome everybody, and then of course, Mike. Cheers. Happy to have you.
Cheers. Thank you for having me on. It's really good to see you, brother.
It is super fucking good to see you. Let's start from the fucking basics here. Where the fuck are you? Do you have this steezy new office with like...
Check that shit out.
You got a fake fireplace above your real fireplace, or do you got a camera in your actual fireplace that's broadcasting to a bigger TV screen? Because that'd be the weirdest flex.
Pretty classy move. Yeah, no, I'm over at the new Stophouse headquarters. I'd been working out of a office that had no heat or AC, and it had no windows for about the last like 2 or 3 years. We were basically in like just a warehouse kind of armpit space. And then about 4 months ago, we moved into this spot, and it's beautiful. It's got big open area for all our people. It actually has heat, so
sick.
My staff doesn't freeze to death and stuff. So
and it's got this cute ass fucking fireplace looking like a Pinterest page behind you. What kind of wood is that? Is that hickory?
It's that classic wood gas.
That is very, very nice.
Yeah.
I'm operating out of my guest bedroom that is right above the kitchen. So whenever you're cooking in the kitchen, it smells like whatever you're cooking in the kitchen, minus going through the old floorboards and the insulation and whatever dead animals might be down there, and then like through. So
okay,
my shit's cool too, you know?
Okay,
it's nice. It has a window, but it's covered up.
It's kind of like a fireplace.
It is, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, man, what a fucking crazy year. I mean, let's just, I'm assuming from, like, this time last year till now, like, it has been a wild ride for a lot of people, and a lot of people in the music industry, but, I mean, especially you guys, like, pivoting out of a record deal and going full solo amidst a fucking pandemic is crazy. But I think we all kind of know that. I think that's all something like we've talked about, kind of like being an artist during that time, like a lot on this show. But for me, I think what is valuable, and I definitely want to get to those things because you guys fucking did something that is super inspiring to me. But is more like your journey, because I'm always interested in how people get involved in this. And it's never like, you know, you're not sitting in junior high like scribbling in your notebook or like drawing pictures of your ideal office and like the rapper you want to manage and shit like that, you know? Like, it's not...
That's what wasn't that, yeah.
So like just for like a quick recap for people, like, how did this start for you? Where did all this come from? Like, what were your building blocks? How are you here?
Man, well, before I jump into that, thank you again for having me on.
Hell yeah.
It's always really weird to talk about myself because I usually love to like tune into these type of things. And
you're the man behind the scenes, but that shit's important to know.
I appreciate that shit, man. And it's fun to get to talk to folks about stuff and get to share some of our experiences and stories. But yeah, man, I've been a part of the entertainment industry since I can remember. When I was like 4 or 5 years old, I would work at Renaissance festivals on the weekend.
Wait, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I'm 100% serious. I would work at big like outdoor concerts and festivals and stuff, vending merch or vending food and beverage and stuff like that. So I worked since the time I can remember, basically, and it's usually been around big events. So I always thought I would maybe end up doing something related to music and entertainment. But when I got into college, I started throwing some underground hip hop shows. And that's where I ended up meeting Prof and Dylan Parker and a couple other folks that I ended up doing business with and, you know, building what eventually would end up becoming Stophouse Music Group. So we met in like 2008.
Oh, wow.
2007, something like that. You know, so I've been managing Prof for about 12 years now.
Fuck. All right.
Yeah, and we just been kind of building slowly but surely since then and stuff. It's been, man, a really slow ride as you have witnessed yourself. And it's like, you know, we never took any step backwards, but it was never like a big, you know, single or a big record drop that really propelled us. It was just consistency and Prof's talent and his like ability to connect with fans and stuff. I think is really what has slowly built us over time.
I do think your image was always like really tight. Like I remember when we met, it was like maybe 2010 at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
And that was Kingampo had just come out.
Yeah, totally.
And I remember hearing the song Animal. And then, you know, just kind of checking up on you guys and seeing like the music videos and being like, whoa, who the fuck is this guy? Like, and this whole like persona, this like almost like character, like this, it was so cohesive and it never like flopped. Like the video from Animal showed his personality, it showed his charisma, it showed his energy. And I feel like everything else I looked at maintained that level. Like it never went down. It kept, even when you got serious, it funneled into a different direction, but it never like lost any of those things. And I always thought that there was like a mass amount of star power there because of that. Because when people tap into something, they don't want to have to think about whether or not it's authentic. Like if you have that thought, chances are you're done with that. You know, I think that's what separates like like a beginner, you know, who's still trying to find their sound or whatever we want to say in that direction.
You want your voice and like what you're talking about to be at least in the ballpark of being genuine to who you are, or being a part of your personality. Maybe it's not who you are every single day.
Yeah.
Moment, you know, but it's a part of who you have been or are currently.
Well, I mean, even look at people that put a mask on and like become somebody else as their character. As long as they're authentic to that character, it's still real.
Very true.
But it's people that try to do both that is just like, okay, so what the fuck what the fuck is this? it makes it difficult, but it was so powerful and raw and real when I saw it that I didn't even question it. And at that time, being an artist who was already like starting to get my foothold in things, like I feel like I would question things more than I normally would when I would look at things, because I'd be like, wait, what the fuck is this? And I immediately kind of latched onto what you guys are doing because I thought it was super dope, and I thought he was extremely talented, and it's awesome to see it grow over the years. Not only his talent and his energy, Chiba, as you said, live, but like, I mean, he's one of the best live performers I've had the pleasure of knowing, and that's a strong plus for him. Like even like when he was touring with Atmosphere, and people, I remember when he first signed, and you know, people were like, "Oh fuck this guy, he's not this and he's not that, and this isn't fucking hip hop." The age-old Rhymesayers comment from some fucking. But
well, he came out with a single to start that whole thing too. That was like purposefully very braggadocious and like in your face. The chorus was something like "fuck you, I'm the greatest."
Yeah,
just over and over again, you know. And I think he really wanted to troll the Rhymesayers fan base right out of the gates a little bit, and maybe kind of poke and prod and just sort of see who was really willing to like not take themselves too seriously.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I got a very similar reaction when I signed. Like I got a fucking, you know, I signed, and then shortly after, Dia had passed away, and I remember reading a comment from some kid that's like, I wish it was Greaves. I wish he would have fucking died.
Holy
and I was
shit.
like, wow. But I got a very similar, like, fuck this guy, this isn't this isn't that. And I mean, I think what they're trying to say is this isn't Atmosphere. Which is, most of those people are just there for that.
Which, okay, if that's the only thing you want to listen to, then Prof probably isn't for you, but that's fine.
Doesn't define your knowledge in hip hop, but
no, totally. That definitely not at all.
No,
define your not hip hop.
And I noticed it when you guys signed, and then I noticed he hit the Atmosphere tour circuit pretty hard and did a lot of touring with Atmosphere, and all of a sudden these motherfuckers weren't saying that anymore. All of a sudden we had some believers on board, because you get Prof in front of someone and he'll win them over. And sometimes artists have the opposite effect. You know, you really like the record, and then you see him at concert, and you're like, this guy's a fucking fuck boy. Or like, you know, it's like the complete opposite reaction. You know, you were putting Prof in front of people that didn't necessarily want to see him, but had to, because he was going on right before Atmosphere, and they all want their fucking spot. You know, they get in there and they hold on to the front rails, and they're like, I have to sit through the main support because I don't want to move. Like, I'll piss my pants. I am not getting out of this spot. And so, you know, that's the best spot. I've always said main support is the best slot of the night, because everyone is there and no one is leaving their spots because they want to see the fucking headliner. And it's like, no one's drunk enough yet by that time to be like out of pocket. But they are drunk enough to be like in pocket.
Yeah. And be good fans. Man, that's all. That's 100% Prof. You know, we would always try to do whatever we could to put him into, you know, positions to succeed, whether that would be, you know, buying whatever cool equipment we could to make sure he could hear himself best on stage, or a good mic or whatever it was. But when it comes down to it, that's 99.99% that dude, just his willingness to work and prepare, and then also his willingness to just fucking leave it all out on stage every single night, whether he's, you know, hungover or tired, or his back is fucked up and he needs surgery, or, you know, whatever the situation is, man, that dude is like, he's a fucking G. And man, shout out to you again for giving us like cool opportunities super early on to go show folks how good of a live performer that dude was. Cause like that first Greaves tour was one of the biggest things for us right out of the gates.
That was
like
madness.
Really getting to know folks. Yeah, that was, you guys, if you would have done that one more time, y'all would have ended up in either jail or.
It made Budo go sober. I think to this day, not a drop from that tour. He's like, I could never, ever again have any more booze. It is too much.
We probably all should have learned that lesson, you know, but he's just smarter than we are. So that's all good.
I have so many fond memories of that tour, and I look back and just like, I really like built a bond with Prof during that time. And I don't know. That was a decade ago. It's 2021. That was 2011. That was a decade ago. It's
Crazy.
wild. Hey, shout outs, first of all, to everyone for the hype train. Shout outs to fucking OK Love for the bits. Shout outs to Lady Ganja for gifting out a 1 month sub. Shout outs to Sonia Quicks for the bits. And I think I'm caught up. Snowstar subscribed for her 12th month. That's what's up. So I do a lot of prep. I do a lot of I care a lot about the live show. And like you said, that's all Prof. That's and it is with me. But I've also had a manager for a long time, and I know that nothing is ever just one thing. Rotary Power gifting out 5 tier 1 subs. You beautiful motherfucker. Beautiful.
Shout out to the person.
I've had a manager for a long time, and you know, that process still involves you. Like, how much would you say preparation is part of this, the Prof? Let's use Prof as an entity, right? Instead of like an artist, let's just say Prof is like a business, because Greaves is definitely a business for me. So when I say Greaves, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about everyone that works for Greaves, everything that goes into it, you know, the collective. So that preparation, that idea, like the thought and the preparation going into tour, like how much would you say out of the touring like how much is, like how important is that, and how much, like what do you deal with in those things?
Man, that's a pretty solid question. It really depends on the tour. You know, I think if we're like a support on a
headliners.
tour, headliners. With
Yeah.
headliner stuff, you know, in terms of preparation, there's a lot there. I think typically we try to start out at least, you know, 6 months in advance in terms of getting holds in place, and you're trying to lock in dates at least 4 or 5 months in advance, ideally, so that you can have a nice smooth announcement, you know, 3 months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really dope about Prof is he's somebody who's always understood the business side of marketing, and you know, it's not just make music and then, you know, okay, I'm done, and we'll
give it
see
to
what
you
happens.
and be like, make me famous.
Yeah, okay, you know, I've done everything. It's like, no, he understands that it's really going to take, you know, we're doing this shit DIY. We didn't have any big investment starting out. We didn't have any connections in the music industry at all starting out. So it's been completely bootstrapped. So what's dope about him is he super understands marketing is important, that whole process. So he's really hands-on as we're going through, like taking photos for the tour so that we can, you know, have good cohesive marketing, putting together like cool little GIFs and videos and all that sort of stuff. You know, we're thinking about that a solid like 3 or 4 months out, because you want to have it all prepped up and ready as you go into your tour announcement and stuff. And then, I mean, especially as we get close to tour, it's all hands on deck, and it really takes everybody. But, you know, I'm by and large in charge of most of getting together all of the, you know, hotel information and the routing information and that kind of stuff. Over the last couple tours, I've been thankfully I've been getting some additional help and been having some folks with like, you know, I've had a tour manager, Josh Stoddard, over the last bunch of years. He's just been a really, you know, super good dude, really integral part of what we've been doing.
Colin. He, like,
exactly. Yeah.
He's a valuable asset.
He's the man, and especially over the last couple of tours, he was doing a bunch of the advancing and a bunch of the you know, ahead of the time work with the actual clubs and venues and stuff. So I do a lot of the budgets, the routing stuff, the front end stuff with the agents. Then I've been trying recently to hand over more to like the tour managers and the tour crew once we get kind of close to tour time. But Prof's super hands-on with everything, man.
Yeah.
Whether it's the marketing or whether it's like thinking about, like, he obviously does his sets on his own and comes up with 99% of the tour ideas on his own, you know, because he doesn't like to just go out there and you know, do his thing and perform his songs. He wants to have whatever type of lights and you know, cool little extra things he can do that make the show just something special and memorable for everybody.
But that takes organization and budgeting too, as I know, because sometimes my ideas are bigger than my wallet, and so
every time.
Yeah, 100%. So I think it's really important to have somebody like you to go to, and If not, I would have been broke a long time ago because I would have seen the money in the account and been like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then Colin would be like, dog, that was your money for like the next year. What the fuck did you just do?
Hey man, I wouldn't. I'd be lying if I didn't say I took some big bets where I did that to us a time or two. So
we definitely have. I've taken lots of those bets. I would be a richer man right now if I wouldn't have taken those. But you know, one thing I would say that I never got ever in my career. It was something I kind of had to learn, and it's something that Colin and I had to focus on. Not that Colin didn't prioritize these things, or it's just for the major part of my career, nobody ever talked to me about the importance of finance. Ever. Like, no artist ever came to me and was like, yo, handle your money now. Are you chasing down all of your, revenue, your royalty revenues? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Nobody told me anything. And I'm signed to a record label with seasoned vets, and no one is like giving me like, what I would say is honestly the biggest advice ever is like, handle your money. Like, and I don't not in a rapper way, in like a responsible fucking blue collar ass way, almost, like, because you don't make a shitload, you make a lump sum at once, and it's easy to justify purchases when you have a bunch of money, thinking that maybe you're going to make money in the future. Like, no one talked to me about budgeting. No one talked to me about the tour side of things, what costs what, where I should be spending money, where I shouldn't be spending money. No one ever said, hey, you shouldn't be paying for this, like, ever. Yeah. It was just kind of like, oh, you're doing that? Like, I got a lot of like, oh, so you're doing that? And it's like, should I? Like, do you know any better? Because I don't know.
Yeah. No, man, I totally agree with you. Like, I'll be frank. It wasn't probably until about 3 years ago we met a really dope dude named Chris, who has since become a partner of ours in Stophouse as a label, and he really helped us professionalize on. Like, I was always good about appropriately accounting for everything that was coming in on a regular basis, but I definitely was not chasing out all the pennies on the publishing side, and wasn't really fully understanding how that could grow over time if we were aggressive about it and we were aggressive about pushing it and stuff like that. And so it's been super helpful to have his help. But like, I went and tried to have that specific conversation with a handful of folks over the years who you would think would be able to get you on the right path with something like that. And it's shocking how little folks know about that side of stuff, man. It's crazy. And part of what I'm doing, a little plug for myself here, I'm doing a weekly class in the Twin Cities with young artists, and I'm basically trying to teach them a lot of this kind of stuff, like royalties and contracts and how to make sure you're collecting everything, not just going out and getting your ASCAP and beyond BMI, but you're doing your song trust and your sound exchange and all that kind of stuff too, and getting folks on the right track so that if they really hustle and they consistently put out good work, like the folks that we are working with in this class, they really are talented and they're doing that kind of stuff. If they do that all right, there's enough pennies out there to make it go. You know what I mean? You can turn it into a small business. You might not be fucking Bruno Mars overnight type of shit, but you can definitely be Prof and Greaves if you put your mind to it for a solid couple of years of creating content.
Yeah, and that's like, as an older, I hate to say like as an older artist, but this age of content didn't really exist when I was like starting out. I was like ready, and I had prepped and taught myself to get into the music business, like or to the record business, selling records. We're talking end caps and fucking music record stores and shit like that.
I mean, that wasn't an inconsequential part of why we signed with Rhymesayers in 2012, was because we still thought there was some value in having a retail presence with physical products, because, we still thought there was some physical product to sell.
Yeah, and then it died so fast. Like, it just went up in flames, and then everyone's like, oh, by the way, this is how the music business works now. And you're like, how does anybody know this? Like, it just happened overnight. And I think it took me longer to adapt, and I'm watching people really thrive in it. And I watch it, and I see it, and I understand how incredibly exhausting it can be to do what some of these people do, and I'm starting to see you guys really tackle it with those like Wednesday things and just more and more and more content. And you know, there just ain't enough hours in the day sometimes, and I think teaching somebody how to manage that time and that idea of content and like stockpiling content could be super valuable, because I don't think that's something you're going to learn. Let's just assume you're not going to learn anything if you sign a record contract. Let's assume if you sign a record contract, they're expecting you to already know what you're going to do and do it. And if you don't, then you're going to fuck around and get shelved or whatever it is. Like, no one's going to be like, okay, hey, here's how it works. I understand it's probably really confusing for you, but don't worry. We got everything you need. We're going to get you everyone you need, and you aren't going to have to worry about a thing. You are just, you know what? You just keep doing your little music thing, and everything's going to be great. Like, it's 100% not like that.
Happen like that.
And so I think it's good to prepare people for more than just music, because it is, and especially if you want to go that indie route, it will always be more than just music. It will always be more than just a live show. It'll always be more than just a music video. It can be exhausting, but it's a lot, and I think it takes people like you and the team that you guys have built to make that easier for the artists and for everyone to be able to accomplish this. But I do think people get lost in the sauce a lot, because, you know, I have noticed since this transition, people are like, you know, you could release a record today and then tomorrow someone's going to be like, so when's the next shit coming out? And you're like,
like, what? Come on, at least have like a 24-hour shelf life.
Motherfucker. Like,
we're definitely leaning into the new format of how to release stuff and going super content heavy, like you're saying. Like, we're at the end of this like Wednesday live content drop kind of cycle or whatever, but we're keeping the whole thing going next Wednesday with new content, you know. So whether it's going to be lyrics videos or brand new music, or maybe we're rehoming a classic video to celebrate an anniversary or something like that, we're basically going to have a brand new, like, real deal polished piece on Prof's YouTube channel every Wednesday at 1:00 Central Time. And that's a huge part of our strategy, not just regarding like content, but it's going to factor into his music like crazy too. You know, one of those content drops every month from here until basically next November is going to be a brand new song that we have a brand new video for. And we're actually shot, I think we're 5 videos out right now. Wow. So we've got 5 videos in the can that are done and amazing, and we're just sitting there waiting to put them out right now.
Great.
So we've got that going on. Next month, I mean, Prof's got like some cool little 420 content coming out for folks and stuff. That should be really rad and stuff. So we're totally leaning into like the just content coming out on a consistent basis. And you're 100% right that if you don't have a good team of focused people, it's impossible, man. It's like herding cats. Even if you have somebody as hard of a worker as Prof, and as somebody who's just, you know, a lot of the content we're putting out right now is like repackages of old pieces or stuff that has never seen the light of day before. So we've got a lot of like archive to pull from.
Yeah.
But even with that, even with just the new stuff we're putting out, like, it's not just Prof working hard. It's like we're very blessed to have, 3 or 4 really great video directors who work with us on a regular basis. Thomas Axemet is one of the main ones who he knocks out these amazing, polished, fucking great music videos in a day, basically. And then like Cody Yachty, who's been shooting with us on tour for a long time, BG Productions.
Yeah, I love him.
He's amazing, man. You know, we can go have some beers in Prof's backyard and we'll have like 3 great YouTube videos without even like thinking about anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, it comes so naturally with that dude. He's very charismatic, and it definitely makes it easy. But yeah, again, to speak to your point too, I mean, that's exhausting for that dude too. You know, I think most days he'd rather just sit in the studio from the time he woke up to the time he would go to bed and, kick it with his friends and stuff. But instead, we're making content. So
yeah, it's I find myself spread pretty thin a lot, because it's just Colin and I, and it's a lot of fucking work. It's a lot of ideas floating around, and the way my life is stacked up right now, like I barely even have the time to like read a book right now, let alone fucking like all this other stuff.
Make a bunch of fucking YouTube videos or
Yeah.
live stream 12 hours a week or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
It's crazy. And these streams for me are like a way to like tap in. And I know it's not the same kind of content, but it is definitely a way for me to kind of keep my finger on the pulse, especially this particular stream, which kind of pulls the veil back a little bit. Because I said it before, I really do think people get lost in the sauce, and they think that it's like we record some songs, we live this life, and then all of a sudden it's like bam, bam. Like, it can be very exhausting. Like, look, you have to have a separate real estate space for more or less one artist. I know you got other artists on the team and it helps, you know, but like your guys' priority is prof, and it's a lot. It takes a fucking lot. We have, you know, for 6 years we had an office, and, you know, I had 2 managers and a studio built in there and a gear room and a fucking merch storage room and a merch shipping facility because, you know, we handle our own merch. One great way to make money is cut out the fucking middleman. Like,
well, plus then you could actually have like contact with your people too. I hate the idea of just sending it to like a dropship place.
Yeah.
Because I actually want to like we send like notes to the folks that we get orders from. Like, we actually build relationships with those people and shit like that. And I feel like, one, it's you save money, but 2, I think it's just like a better move. You know, it feels better.
Well, and being able to handle your own customer service, right? So when you sell somebody a T-shirt with your name on it, you're selling yourself as a product, right? So if you got somebody else, selling your shit for you. You know, like a fulfillment service, right? Which is very popular. A lot of bigger artists do it because they just can't fucking handle it. So
a lot of big even record labels do that nowadays.
That's also true. Yeah. So if you send your fulfillment out to somebody else, and let's say somebody orders 2 Powderhorn records, and they get 1 Powderhorn record, and as I would say customers normally do, they send a slightly aggravated email because they don't want to wait again. We're in this era where you can go on Amazon and just have that shit tomorrow, right? So people aren't used to waiting anymore for the things that they get. So when they've already waited 4 days or whatever it takes, you know, or if they ordered media mail, it took 6 days to get to them, you know, and then they open up the package, they're excited, and it's half of what they ordered, they're going to send you an email that's like, what the fuck, dog? I ordered 2 of these things, you sent me 1 of these things. How fucking hard is it to put 2 in opposed to 1? And it's like, you know, simple mistakes happen all the time, whether it's, you know,
sending thousands of orders, that shit happens, man. Yeah. Your eyes get sleepy, days get long, it happens.
Hell yeah. Or sometimes you thought you put 2 in there. Like, like, shit happens. Yeah. But I think the difference and the gold star there is when you get that letter, when Colin gets that letter, or when anyone at, you know, our respected business that we work with gets that letter. There isn't the like, chill the fuck out, I'll send you another one response, or a no response. There's like this extremely like, oh shit, like, totally my bad. I'm gonna, like, it's already in the mail. Like, I'm already on it. Like, I'm in my car right now heading to the spot. Like, I'm sending it.
And that motherfucker's gonna be signed, and you're gonna get extra shit with that. And the next time you come through, it's gonna be 25% off or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's a sticker pack and a coupon code in there. My fucking bad. Like, I'm so, like, also, if there's anything you need, like, this is the email. Like, if anything gets fucked up with that, this is the email. I will take care of you. And tunes change immediately, and you have repeated customers for life, opposed to
this is like some really cheesy business shit, but I've always preached that service failure is one of the best places to like make customers for life, because if you can have good service recovery and really over deliver like we're talking about, it goes from being like, oh, I'm slightly pissed off, to being like, holy shit, if I ever have an issue with these guys, if I ever order from Greaves merch site, I know that I'm going to get what I ordered times 10. And if it doesn't show up that way, they're going to rectify that issue immediately and shit. Like,
Yeah.
You're totally right, man. You see those same folks who have a customer service issue come back like, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a year sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, so I sell my own records from our web store, as well does Rhymesayers, right? They have my discography over there as well, and you can either buy it from them or you could buy it from me. It's not much of a difference. I think I make a little bit more when I sell it from my end, and I can handle it, and I can kind of control that customer service aspect again. But also, I noticed we were getting emails about people complaining about the shipping rates from ordering from Rhymesayers, and I was like, well, I can't help you with that. Like, and they're like, but it's your record, and it's like, I'm hearing you, and I'm feeling you here, and it's inspiring me to look at my own shipping rates and what can I do, because it's expensive to ship a vinyl.
It really is.
And so we figured out how to incorporate that media mail into our Shopify, which we hadn't for pretty much the whole entire time. And now you can order a record and get it sent to your house. You can get 4 LPs sent to your house for $4 in shipping.
Damn. We're going to have to get the media mail thing going, because I think we still do, like, I think just regular ground or something like that.
And it's expensive to send that 12 by 12 box.
I think it's like $8 or $10. Yeah.
It can be shocking, man. Like, I saw a lot of people get pretty upset about the shipping on vinyls, and they're like, man, I'd order the fucking vinyl, but the shipping costs more than the fucking vinyl does. And you're like,
well, especially if they're like UK or something crazy. I've seen
or Canada,
UK shipping.
He's saying.
What's that?
Someone's saying, or the dreaded shipping and duty to Canada, which is
that shit can get gnarly.
One of the major complaints that we get is they're like, what the fuck? And it's like, hey man, that I don't have any control of. I wish I could. I wish I could change international shipping rates, but
it just is what it is.
It is what it is.
I mean, we're trying to get with an international distributor that has good like actual, retail shops that you could potentially find his records and stuff. But I think it just doesn't quite make sense for us quite yet. So
it's hard. And as someone that's played that game before, you got to have a lot of product on the shelf, and there's no guarantee that product is going to sell. And so you're debatably paying to have the product made, paying to have the product distributed, and then paying to have the product sent back if you don't send it. Or if you don't.
And vinyl is not cheap. I don't know if people realize it, but you have to fucking take out a second mortgage on your house to get a big vinyl shipment in, man. That shit is expensive.
Yo, we did, for the first time ever, we did Irreversible this year on vinyl, and we never had it on vinyl before because we just never had the fucking money to.
We first same with King Campbell, man. And it was one of those records where everybody would always complain to us and shit, and It's like Irreversible, a classic, but you can't afford it, man.
And it's a risk because so we were looking at it because, as you were talking about, like, content, constantly coming up with more ideas, pulling from archives, reinvent wheels we've already had, and so, I
mean, 99.99% of the people on Earth haven't heard most of your shit, most of Prof's shit. Yeah. So why not expose some of the tried and true kind of stuff
in different ways? Like, why not work? Exactly. Why not work with shit? Why not, wring a rag out that we already had? Like, I'm down to do that shit. And when we did that, I remember sitting on the phone with Colin and Justin from Copycats and just kind of like looking at the numbers and being like, well, could we do like an a la carte thing where we put it up for pre-sale and then that's how many we make? And he's like, well, you could, but then you have like, the 2-month printing lead time between that. So you're going to have to end pre-sales, and then it's going to be 2 months to get it to here, and then it's going to be about a week for shipping from there. So you're looking at like 2.5 months after you end.
Really, you have to have some faith in what you're doing. You got to be pretty confident you're going to sell at least 700-800 of those motherfuckers if you're ordering 1,000 of them.
Yeah, I mean, we did even smaller. We did a run of 500, and it was like, you got to do the math on it, and because it costs so much money. And we were like, well, it's a special edition, so we don't we're not going to sell them for $25. We're going to sell them for $50, and we're going to put all this extra effort into the artwork, and we're going to do the packaging all great, and it's going to come with some different shit. And there's a hand-signed letter in every single vinyl. Like, I wrote like this like heartfelt letter, printed those out, and then I signed every one of them, and it's like on like a card stock that we made that was like perfect to be framed. So we looked up like really universal, like you go to Target and get this frame, and bam, it looked good. But yeah, man, and I remember when we went live with it, and I was just like, either I'm about to lose like 12 racks right now, or who knows. And last year, that was a scary year to do that. But at the same time, like last year was the year of Hail Marys, man. Like if I didn't chuck that one out there, I wouldn't have made it. I don't think like that reprint or that limited edition pressing of that on vinyl made a quarter of my year last year.
Damn.
And it's wild to think about those things.
To you guys for being so fucking resilient last year too, man. Like as all that was going down and the timing of that tour that you were on and everything, like, I mean, we had to cancel 6 months of touring, but I hadn't invested much more than a couple grand into it at that point in time.
And like the merch, you weren't out on the road, you didn't have a bus wrapped,
deposit, all that bullshit. Oh man. So
and then you have the people on the road with you. You got all these employees. I always pay my employees half up front, and then I'll start like, halfway through the tour, we'll start shaving off or whatever, or start giving them more, or we'll just, if they need it all, then we'll give it to them all. But it takes a lot of money to go on tour, right? I think people don't understand this. Like at the level that we're doing it, which isn't even top level, like we're talking like still lower tier shit, like we're playing, let's say 500 cap rooms, right? Like I'd say we're pretty universal there. The amount of money that it takes to print, let's say we're going on major market headliner tour on a record that just came out, right? So you're talking new merch items. You're talking enough merch to get through a tour, because at this level, drop shipping is fucking expensive, and it lowers your top line when you're shipping merch out all the time to you. And if you got a trailer and you can just bring it all, you might as well just fucking bring it all, right? And that way you're not chasing down fucking, production managers and shit at venues and be like, hey, I'm sending 16 boxes of hoodies to you. Can you make sure, like, I don't know when they're going to be there. You just need to be at the venue sometime between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Tuesday. Can you do it? And it's so fucking hard. So, you spend all the money on the merch. Then, of course, something is broken. So your gear isn't working or something, or you need a new piece, or you're doing something. Some production value thing needs to be spent.
If it's a new record, too, you definitely want to get new backdrops or like
some stage props.
New screens or something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we call that like aesthetics, like visuals or aesthetics or whatever, the production value of the show costs a shitload of money. And then we're like, okay, so we're going out on tour. We're about to be gone for a month and a half. We need to clearly sleep somewhere unless we're on a bus. But if we're in a bus, then we have to prepare where the fuck are we going to park this bus? Where are we going to fill this bus up full of water and gas all the time? Which I don't know if you've ever tried to fill a bus full of gas before, but it costs like $300 to $500 to fill a fucking gas tank of a bus up. So you got to have enough money to be able to fill that up every time when you're on tour. So that's a motherfucker. I mean, there's credit cards, of course, but it's crazy to think about the amount of money that goes into just preparing for a tour, buying all the hotel rooms beforehand, because the last thing you want to be doing is buying I used to buy hotel rooms day of, and the amount of times that I would get fucking bitch slapped out of hey, sorry, there's no hotel rooms. You got to drive 4 hours south to some super sketchy fucking Deliverance ass town, and there's one hotel room there.
On our first two Atmosphere tours, they basically gave us just like they gave us not even enough for gas money. It was like $50 a show, something like that, you know? So I was hustling merch for everybody on tour. And if I got tipped well enough, then we'd be able to get a hotel room that night. And if not, then it was just shit out of luck. And so, you know, there were some nights where people were very thankful for me, and other nights where they were like, come on, Mike, you should have hustled harder tonight, man. We needed a hotel room.
Yeah, see, that's crazy too. When we were doing those fucking Atmosphere tours, we were getting same problem. And then we realized, wait, you guys are staying in hotel rooms in the day, but not at night. And those hotel rooms are just sitting there.
The day rooms.
And so we were like, we can't do this tour if you don't just give us the day rooms. Give us the fucking day rooms. Come on, Randy. Give us the day rooms, Randy. And thankfully, 9 times out of 10 that was the case. So we were able to finagle those fucking day rooms. But also,
our first tour is not so much. But shout out Randy. Once we got familiar with him and stuff like that, he would basically volley the day rooms between the support acts on the tour, which is the respectful thing to do.
And
that's cool.
You were doing bigger tours than we were. Like when the tours that we were doing, it was like me and Blueprint, right? So it was Blueprint and Groove, and then Budo and I. So then we could always they had 2 or 3 day rooms. So we always had, it was easy.
Yeah. Some of the runs we were on, there was sometimes like, there'd be, like Abilities would open or something like that. He would have his own little like tour squad, and then you'd maybe have Evidence and Blueprint or something like that.
Yeah.
Plus prop. And that was just, we would have to take turns with that. But
still better than nothing, but still.
I was very happy when I would get them. No complaints. So,
and, you're getting paid in exposure as much as I fucking hate saying that.
It's the truth though. I don't poo-poo any of those tours, man. I'm super thankful for all that shit. Like,
it's hard though.
I killed it, Yeah.
He did. And I mean, I don't know where I would be without those tours. Because I had done a lot of touring before that, but nothing to that extent. And that team runs like a well-oiled machine. You follow Randy, you follow James, you stay on those people, and you can learn a fucking universe of information from those people.
Hell yeah.
The
Atmosphere tour crew is like, I had a wonderful experience with those guys. It was definitely, hard work, and they would push us to be good tour mates and stuff like that. But I learned a shit ton from them and have nothing but gratitude for those folks.
Yeah, I always say one of the biggest things I learned from that crew was whether you're with them or whether you're not, when you show up to a venue, like people be like, oh shit, yeah, you're Rhymester. So, like Randy and James and all those people. And you're like, like they left everywhere they left. They left a lasting positive impression on whoever it was. They weren't like, oh man, last time they were there, like Randy was a son of a bitch, and the fucking merch guy wasn't giving me honest counts, which is a really common. Like I hear that complaint all the fucking time from promoters. Or like this, that, and this, and this, and this, and that. Like it was like, oh, if you're tight with them, then we're tight with you, because those guys are the And I was like, yo, that's how our team needs to be. Like, I want to make sure.
That's how you guys are. I mean, that's how you and Colin are. I think, like, we go to places, obviously a lot of the same size venues. Fuck yeah.
That's the number one rule. Like, I discovered that in 2007 when I first toured with them. And I was like, that has to be the bar. Like, that's the ground floor. Like, that's learning to walk. Like, we can build from there, but you cannot be on this team if you cannot adhere to that, because that has to be the most important thing, because things go up and down in your career like this. But as long as people always think of you like this, then you can fucking maintain. And I don't say that out of selfishness. I say that out of this is my job. Like, I'm showing up to the workplace, right? And I care about this is how I feed my family. Like,
you'd hopefully treat any job the same way. You know what I mean? Like
a job that I cared about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You treat the people that you work with, your coworkers, the people who work for you, the people that you work for. You would treat everybody with respect and have a positive attitude towards shit. And I worked for I think over 5 years as a promoter representative for one of the bigger clubs in Minneapolis, and I worked for a lot of acts that had been around for a long time. And I was not nearly as seasoned as some of the folks that I worked with at the club. And they would a lot of times tell me I guess basically you could just kind of tell when folks were welcomed back, and it was like, oh, even though they're back at a smaller club again, and maybe they're not playing the big room in town anymore, we're still going to give them a ton of attention, love, and care, and go above and beyond, et cetera, et cetera. And they would do that for the other folks too, but there was just a different vibe if somebody was a real asshole to them when they were on top. That energy comes back to you. When you're on bottom, like, folks are going to treat you like shit if you were doing the same thing to people.
And it will haunt the artist. You can fire everyone. You can fire your whole team because I always said this, like, when you fuck up, you're fucking up for me. Like, if you tell a promoter to go fuck themselves, that's me telling the promoter to go fuck themselves, because they're never going to be like, oh, Greaves' merch person was a dick to me. Like, they're just be like, that Greaves shit is whack. Like, I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that.
Greaves' team sucks. I don't want to book them again.
And it could have been a decade ago, and they'd be like, nah, I don't fuck with that dude, because these people are, sons of bitches. And
that goes two ways though too. I've definitely had promoters where we've had, really bad experiences, and they haven't come prepared and been positive and all that kind of stuff. And same kind of thing. I definitely make sure to tell
I'm not
all the homies, like, hey, if you're going through Portland, make sure to avoid this person, because they're going to try to stiff you money, and they're going to, not show up on time, and they're going to have 18 acts on the bill, and yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah. There's a dude in Asheville that I'll make sure, for as long as I breathe, I will make sure this motherfucker never books anyone I ever know ever again.
We got a bunch of offers, I think, around the same time that he was giving you that offer, and we ended up holding off and just kind of waiting to see what happened. But sorry to make you the guinea pig.
Yeah, I will make sure. Well, I had already done a show with him on the Chris Webby tour, and he booked Chris Webby, and he must have thought it was his show, and he was a promoter artist, which is always a problem. And so he would play in between every act, and what he failed to know is that he booked like 10 openers, and he's like, oh no, they're all playing like 10-minute sets, and then I play 15-minute sets in between them. And this dude was, I shit you not, he had a song where he was like, hey, you like that gangster shit? And people were like, woo! And he's like, you like that sexy shit? And people are like, yeah, you like that sexy gangster shit? And then he had a song where he was just crip walking or whatever he thought he was doing. He was definitely trying to crip walk, and he was in the worst falsetto he could possibly do, just going, sexy boy, sexy boy. It was fucking awful. And it was right before our tour package started, so Echo was about to go on. And I'd already talked to this dude. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And he's like, don't worry, everything's on schedule. It's going to be good to go. And so Echo's like ready to go. It's his stage time. And
he's a professional too. He's no joke. I worked with that dude before. He's about his business, and
he's a fucking professional. But like didn't had a lot of tour experience under his belt. Okay. But even though I'm an opener, I still like I didn't even have Colin with us, and like Chris Webby's team was like back at the hotel, so it was just me, Pants, and Echo, and the locksmith, and we're all sitting in the green room like scratching our heads like, what the fuck is going on here? And I was like, I've had enough of this shit. And I went up there, and I'm tapping this dude on the shoulder, and I was like, yo, Echo's stage time is like next. And he's like, yeah, no, we're good. So Echo comes up, he's ready to go, and everyone, he goes out on the stage, is like, okay, so next up, and like brings this other dude up. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, yo, like screaming from the side of the stage, and like this dude's rapping, and he's like standing behind him, like doing some old dumb shit. And fucking he comes over to me, he's like, oh, he's just doing one song. I was like, I'm gonna fucking pull the plug. I was like, I'm gonna go to the sound guy, I'm pulling the plug, none of us are playing, fuck you. And I got so mad. I was like, I'm so fucking mad at you. I'm like steaming, my shoulders are shaking. I was like, I will fucking punch you in your shit right now. Like, you said you were done. You fucking lied to me. Like, I kept saying, like, you fucking lied to me to him. And so
why would he do that to your face, man? At least, like, come up with a better promoter excuse. Come on.
Dude, I lost my shit on him, and then he fucking pulls it off. Echo goes on. I'm down in the green room, and I'm hot. I'm just fuming, and he comes and he knocks on the door, and he's like trying to come up with excuses. I was like, yo, this is my job, all right? I'm not fucking around with you right now. Like, when stage times are stage times, that is it. Like, I don't want to be up at fucking 3 a.m. packing out of this place, trying to get to our hotel in your fuck ass town. Like, I'm trying to be.
Nor does anybody in the fucking venue.
No.
Nor does the staff there. Nor does any of the listeners.
Or am I trying to cut into the headliner's time? Like, at this point, we're fucking 45 minutes behind schedule in a club gig. That is fucking unacceptable, right? Like, that is unacceptable. And he's like, yo. And I was like, no, I've been doing this for fucking ever. Like, I've heard it all. I've seen it all. No more. Like, if I swear to God, if someone goes on after Echo, I'm burning this place to the ground. Like, no more. He's like, well, I had a whole set planned. I was like, no. And he's like, well, I feel you. This is my job. Like, I do this professionally too. And I just wanted to be like, no, you fucking don't. No, you do not.
You like sell weed professionally, and then you buy shows.
And it was sponsored by a weed company, which I'm pretty sure was his weed company. You just nailed it on the fucking head.
Yep.
And it's like,
random note too. Shout out to all you promoter rappers. Less is more. You don't need to do 18 sets or 25 minutes a set or anything. If you're really going to do that, do like 10 or 15 of your coldest minutes and get the fuck off stage.
And be tight.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Like,
don't
be
suck.
cool. Like, if like, you know what? Your music could suck all day. I don't give a shit. Let your music suck, but be dope on the business side of things. Like, keep a tight ship. Keep the schedule on. Have my money. Like, have the money. Like, have the venue respect you, which is a lot of the time I'll notice like the bartenders will be like, this fucking guy, you know, like.
Yeah, when it's an outside promoter in a space, a lot of times they have like PTSD with working with certain folks the same way we do. Yeah.
And you don't know, because you show up, you've never been to this place, you don't know this fucking guy. Like, you're showing up, you're doing your part, right? Like, you took the better deal like you normally would. And communicate. Thank you, Colin. Yeah, communicate with not only the artists but the venue staff. Like, it's a disaster. I don't know how we got on that tangent, but Colin, I would like to announce, or at least wrap up the giveaway of the headsets, so we can see who won themselves a pair of Astros. But before we wrap this up, I just want to ask, what's next for Stophouse? Like, you guys had a crazy year. You guys went full independent this year. You guys got this new sexy office where your actual fireplace turned off, but your other one, your galactic one, is still rolling.
Man, we got plans. With Prof, it's just like nonstop content. He probably has 20 or 30 songs on deck that are album quality songs that we're finishing up and getting ready to go. We're going to start launching that as of next month. So awesome. Everybody who's watching, if you're a big Prof fan, you're going to be getting new music next month. I'm also doing a ton of stuff with Mac Irv. He's the other artist that we've been working with primarily. He just dropped a new record called The Breakthrough at the beginning of January. It's an absolutely incredible record. I think you're going to end up having him on next week.
Next week, so, yeah. I'm excited to talk to him. I don't know him very well, so it'll be nice to. I know he's got a pretty fucking crazy story, so it'd be really interesting to talk to him and dial him. Yeah,
he's got a dope story. He's just a really good dude. I feel like you guys will get along, and like I think a lot of the folks that listen to Greaves music would definitely identify with a lot of what Mac is talking about as well. So we're doing a ton of new stuff with Mac, including he's got a new video dropping this Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. He's got a video for a song called Excuse My French. So everybody make sure to tune into his YouTube channel on Friday. We'll have some new shit with Yes, sir. And then, Wednesdays, 1 p.m. every single week, we're going to have new Prof shit constantly. So so just be tuning in with us.
Okay. And Colin will drop socials for Stophouse, where if you don't retain any of the information that you learned here on stream, make sure that you guys follow Stophouse on all social media so that you can stay dialed the fuck in. That would be your main resource to all things Prof, Mac Irv, and whatever else is to come in the future.
Hey, hell yeah. We got to get some more music on deck with you, man.
I would love to. As we were
Super
talking,
Scary Monsters has been way too long.
Yeah, we definitely, I sent Prof a beat. I think he liked it, but, where he was in his head at the time too. I think the beat fit that, but at the same time, I think maybe things have calmed down a little bit, and we're not really there anymore.
Okay, got you. We're all in, I think, a little bit more positive headspaces these last couple months for
100%.
So.
Like coming out of this is like it's just it's a, especially when it's all sitting on your plate. Like I don't know. I've done all my complaining music. I'm done. I'm fucking done with it. I don't know. But yes, I'm 100% into making more music. That would be the shit. Like we were talking about before the stream, I got this like kind of instrumental-y thing that I'm gonna do because artistically, like that's just what I've been doing. Like that was art I made last year. Like I didn't really feel like I had a lot to say. My art didn't manifest itself through lyrics all that much last year, but it did through like melodic stuff. So I'll be doing that. I don't really know how I roll that out. And I think I want to talk to you guys about it too, because it's like, do I want to do I go full scale? Do I'm like, yo, this is it. This is the new shit. Here it is. Like bing, bang, boom.
Yeah,
or do I do the very modern thing and just be like, record out on Friday? Like the casual, like, oh, oops, I forgot to tell you. I got this. My bad. I was too busy riding around in jets and shit, but I got a record coming out on Friday. If you got the time, if you ain't riding around on jets, you should probably check it out.
I'd love to hear it and give you feedback and let you know what I think.
I'll send it your way. I got a couple master tweaks to do on it, and then I think it's pretty much done. And shout outs to Queen Gampa winning the fucking headsets.
Oh my God. I bet she is having an aneurysm right now. Renee, if you need help, just dial 911, and then if you need to, dial the other one, okay?
Yeah. Line it up, so all you got to do is hit that one, and then...
Exactly. And then that way, if it's like you can still hit the send button. You're good.
Wow, yeah, congratulations, Queen Gampa. What did you say her name's? Renee?
Yeah, Renee. She's been a big Prof fan for a long time. Has definitely been a big supporters of ours. Big shout out to Renee.
Shout outs to Renee. I remember last stream you said if anybody wanted to crawl in bed with you and watch cartoons, it would be like 3 racks? That's what you said. So
for me,
I don't know. You'd probably get a disc. You'd probably get the Stophouse discount.
Okay.
But yeah, if anybody watching, I think it's about 3 racks to watch cartoons with Renee, which is you can't put a price on good company. So
sometimes that's invaluable. So there you go.
But hey, I want to thank you for coming out today, or I guess it's tonight. But we do have a playlist that we do every week as an attempt to constantly content. But we've built it up over the past couple years, and I'm pretty stoked. At where it is. And so normally when we bring
we get plays all the time off your playlist, man. I check our playlist constantly on Spotify and stuff, and I see it come through for sure.
I knew it was a thing when we started getting like, hey, I'll give you like $500 for a playlist spot, which we've never taken, because it's like, are you kidding me? No. Like half the time it's like me forgetting to do my picks and like flying them in at like 9:45, or Colin just doing it. So shout outs to Colin. Victory 13 forever with the subscription. Big love. But we do ask a guest to pick a song. So what song did you pick and why?
Oh shit! I think I picked Macker's Celebration.
Perfect.
That's a new record off of his new full length, The Breakthrough, that I mentioned earlier. And it's just a really fun, good party record. It feels like we need to do a little bit more celebrating, considering how rough 2020 was for a lot of folks. So It felt like a very fitting record.
I'm gonna do him a solid instead. And Colin, let's just put the whole record in the playlist tomorrow.
Hey, swag.
Yes.
Appreciate it. You won't regret it. There's a lot of really cold records in there.
We're just going to put the whole record. Our playlist on Friday is just going to be Mac Irv's record. I do that sometimes when like the homies put out records, or when we put out a record. Yeah, on Friday.
Dude, that's huge love. I appreciate that.
Yeah, let's just make it the whole damn playlist because I feel like that's a good move. So
Hell yeah, that'll be a good celebration, kind of heading into next Wednesday's.
you know what I'm saying? It gets everybody familiar with his music ahead of time opposed to afterwards. And then, of course, he's probably going to pick one of his songs to put on the playlist anyway. So then he gets a reboot. He's getting back-to-back action on the jukebox. So tight.
Hell yeah, yeah. He's got a ton of dope visuals too, so go check him out on YouTube as well. A lot of really polished. If you liked props videos, it's not necessarily the same style, but same level of quality. Yeah.
Tight.
Okay.
All right,
man. Thank you so much for having me on, Greaves. I hope to see you in person someday sooner than later, man.
Well, hey, I'm fully vaccinated, so anytime you want to touch tongues.
Hey, can we scissor then? I think
we can.
As long as one of us are vaccinated, it's cool to scissor. I've heard Fauci says that's the rule.
I just heard him say that in his accent. It's okay to scissor. That's fucking tight.
As long as one party is at least
look, I ran the numbers on it. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be for what we're gonna do a scissoring Saturday. Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Catch us on Saturdays.
Scissoring Saturdays.
Bumping chodes. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Wired In Wednesday. We'll be back on Monday for happy hour, and then, of course, next Wednesday with Mac Irv. That's a back-to-back Stophouse extravaganza over here on Wired In Wednesday. Love to all the new followers and subscribers. Shout-outs to Queen Gampo for winning herself a pair of headphones. Come back next Wednesday for a chance to win another pair every Wednesday. We're throwing these things out. So that sounded terrible. We're hooking y'all up. We're hooking y'all motherfuckers up on Wednesdays. Damn.
Shout out Sarah Doe.
Shout out Sarah Doe.
I love her. She's the best. Yeah.
And Astro, of course, and Astro Headphones for providing us the opportunity to hook y'all up. So we'll catch you when we catch you. Peace.